What's poppin', everybody? Zeraora. It's that time again to talk about the TCG meta and the impact of our upcoming latest set, Lost Thunder. It'll be out in around 2 weeks. That's usually when I make these TCG meta videos. So this time our rotation was really rough. I had a feeling it was going to be rougher than usual, and I think a lot of people realized when we realized we were going to be losing all of our major supporters besides Cynthia, losing things like Artillery 2 for ability draw. In the beginning, of course, they tried to make the good decks that were good before, your trusted decks, adapt them for the new format. Your Zoroark GXs, your Buzzholes, your Lycan Rocks, new faces like Rayquaza GX, trying to make that deck work. It ended up being used with the Vikavolt, I guess. It's being used right now. You know, Malamar and the Necrozmas, it didn't get hurt as much as I predicted. Other decks like Metal, Magnezone, people think they're maybe tier 2. I think it's a pretty bad deck right now. But it was really rough. I would play games and people that really just weren't novices that I knew were just trying to adapt their decks playing, and we would get stuck, not draw cards, not see supporters. And it was really rough figuring things out. Eventually, people got their shit together, and basically the same old decks for the most part were kind of good. There was a lot of Buzzwole and Garbodor and these sort of shrine decks and spread decks. These spread a lot of damage around decks with Weavile and Tapu Koko. A lot of these basically became the thing to beat, like the best deck for a while, and it might still be. I think it's a pretty sound strategy to use non-GX Pokemon and take full advantage of the Shrine, and you have a pretty fair matchup against mostly everything. But things mostly ended up how they usually end up. The decks that were good before, ended up being kind of good with a few exceptions. We have some new shit coming though. Lost Thunder, it's gonna be pretty impactful. I feel like when this set comes out, it's gonna make a lot of things irrelevant. It's significant. I mean, every set that comes out brings it to significance. But a set like this, it's going to be the biggest set that's going to be ever released in the history of the TCG, unless they top it in the next one. Probably won't take too long. It seems like sets are getting bigger and bigger. Celestial Storm was pretty big, and this one it's going to blow that out of the water with 210 cards. The stuff that really this set brings that is just too good is the lightning stuff. Lightning Pokemon, they already have pretty good support, but with the stuff that's coming out, it's just perfect. They don't really need anything else. Zeraora GX, the Elekid Power Trainer card, and the GX Stadium, the Lightning Stadium. Those are basically the three cards that I want to focus on, the key cards. With these, you can basically make a pure Zeraora GX deck, basically. He has the Dark Cloak ability for lightning that Darkrai had, so you basically put a lightning energy on your guys, they're going to have free retreat. It has a good solid attack that does 160 for 3, and with a stadium you can make it work for 2. And then the worst thing of all that basically makes the deck broken, any lightning deck basically, the Elekid Power. Basically that card, if you don't know what it does, it's like a triple plus power on one card, or a choice band that it's going to work on everything for one turn. You're only going to do the extra damage on the active, but it's pretty freaking busted, man. Just a trainer card that gives you 30 to your lightning Pokemon. So basically you just do this on a Zeraora GX, 2 lightning energies on, you play the stadium down, and you're doing 190. And if you play choice bands and other add-ons, it's just crazy good damage. You get one hit knockouts basically pretty easily. I feel it's pretty powerful. I mean, if you don't just make a pure lightning Zeraora GX deck, there's always Zoroark GX. You can pair it up with that guy. It's gonna be another great pair for Zoroark GX. Goes with mostly everything, really. Pokemon like these that are flexible. So you can go with that. It might be the next best deck. Zeraora GX with Zoroark GX, basically. You got your draw guy, attacks with DC, typical stuff. And then you got Zeraora GX putting in the hurt. They're going to have good coverage together, once again, kind of like how Zoroark GX works with Lycan Rock. And you got a deck. Now, I know that what you guys are thinking, yeah, well, the stadium is only at 1. Well, yeah, but there's just so many different ways to build that deck, and Lightning just has such great support. Raikou, I think, is going to be a much better Pokemon people are going to look into. The one from Shiny Legends that basically acts like an Evoltal, attack, do 30, and grab an energy. It's these sort of interactions you can do. You can basically do that shit, and it becomes the fucking Zeraora Lightning deck. It's gonna be like how maybe the Evoltal Darkrai deck used to be when X and Y came out. I just feel like it's too good. That Elekid Power Trainer card is too powerful. You can play multiple ones. It's just a trainer. Now that set is pretty big. It has a lot of good stuff like the Shuckle that gives energy acceleration to a lot of shit. You just grab 2 energies for free. You need grass to do that, but that's what he does. And it's just a very big set with a lot of stuff. Sabotage GX might be showing some promise, but I just feel like Zeraora GX, the Elekid Power thing, and the Stadium, even if it's just one, the GX Lightning Stadium, along with the Lightning support we already have, like Magnezone, Raikou, Volkner is pretty good, and all the other stuff is just going to be an excellent archetype. It's just going to be the best deck that's going to overshadow mostly everything. I mean, the anti-meta stuff, it's still going to be the anti-meta stuff. Your Buzzholes, your Garbodors, your Shrine stuff. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Now, maybe it's still the way to go. Just keep using non-GX decks, decks that don't even really run Tapu Lele much. Just cutting it completely and just running your shrines, getting the max value, and having just great generic Pokemon, Buzzwole, Garbodor. It seems that it's going to be good for as long as it's around. I mean, Buzzwole, he does have the weakness on Zeraora. I'm pretty sure that guy is just a typical lightning Pokemon, weak to fighting. Garbodor is always going to be good late game, just doing fuckloads of damage for one psychic energy. And I don't know, maybe fighting Pokemon I mean, they're still going to be good. Of course they're going to be good. They're already good. So if the lightning shit comes out that's going to be busted, then they have the advantage over it type-wise. So your Buzzholes, your Lycanroc GXs, they're still going to be relevant. So I guess maybe decks like Rayquaza GX and Malamar are going to lose some of its charm. Because really, man, is that Eleki Power trainer and just running lightning Pokemon is just too fast. You don't even really need to accelerate energies. You just find a cheap lightning Pokemon, cheap lightning attackers. Like I feel like maybe Circuitry, the one for Forbidden Light that just 20 and does confusion. These Pokemon, they're gonna be pretty good because you can just use Eleki Power, attach a Choice Band or what have you, and just the damage is gonna add up. You do good solid damage for 1 energy and you take advantage of that trainer. You've got Raikou for energy acceleration. I mean, that guy, he's gonna, with the Eleki Power, he's gonna do 60 and fetch an energy. Pretty good. Maybe even Raichu GX is gonna be better. It's gonna appreciate the extra damage, that's for sure, with the Eleki Power. So I just feel like Lightning Pokemon, they really get a lot of busted support. There's supposed to be like Fairy support in that set too, because it combines Fairy Rise, the Fairy Japanese set. But I wasn't really all that impressed. I just feel like everything is overshadowed by the lightning support in there. Yeah, there's good generic, well not generic, but good grass support like Shuckle. Grass support is actually pretty solid in that set too. There's going to be the Netball. That's basically an instant Master Ball for grass Pokemon. So there's a lot of good stuff, but the best stuff is definitely going to be the lightning stuff. Now, before I forget, the other very important thing Lost Thunder brings us that's going to be very impactful is all the alternate win conditions with the fucking unknowns. Now, out of all of them, I would say only one, the one with the supporters in the Lost Zone, has the biggest potential. There's the unknown that if you have like 12 supporters in the Lost Zone, basically you win that one. But the other ones, the other two that you gotta have a hand of like 30 cards or something, and then the other one that does something else that I forgot, you have like 500 damage counters or something, I don't know, but all of them, they're basically alternate win conditions. We haven't really seen this since the Colo Legends set with the Lost World. And this set basically has that theme too, with the Lost Zone and the Lost Removal stuff. And there's a Lost March deck too, but I don't think it's going to be on the level of Night March and maybe it's a good thing they learned a lesson. But definitely the unknown that you win if you have 12 supporters in the lost zone. I think it's going to be pretty good because there's a lot of ways. There's like a draw card that puts things in the lost zone, puts cards in the lost zone. It kind of acts like a night, what's it called? Maintenance. Yeah, maintenance, where you just shuffle, you discard, I think, 2 cards, put 2 cards in the lost zone, and then you draw a ride. You don't shuffle. So you just discard 2 cards in the lost zone and draw a card. So it gives you that turbo aspect of it as well. There's Giraffric, a Pokemon that basically puts cards in the lost zone as well, I believe. So the deck, it might be a hacks go lucky deck that you just win if everything goes perfectly, but I feel like it has a lot of tools that you're going to be able to get cheap wins, and maybe they made a mistake, the Pokemon Company International, but I guess we'll find out. There's been stuff before that I thought were going to be pretty scary, like for example Salazzle, and that Pokemon didn't end up doing shit. Now sometimes it's just you look at the card and you don't really think straight as well, so maybe that's my fault, but I feel like this Lost World stuff with the unknown, it should be pretty good at the very least. If it doesn't become crazy and becomes like some FTK shit, Yu-Gi-Oh style, if you guys know what that is, then it's gonna be on the level of, let's say, Lost Gengar maybe at the very least, so it won't be so bad. And to close this off, in a fucking huge set like this, there's actually a lot of good general support that every deck is going to appreciate. The most notable one is, of course, Professor Elm. It's going to be the new Bridget. We're getting a Bridget sort of card back. Of course, it has a few interesting mechanics where you can only get 60 HP Pokemon, so I really like that. It means that you can't get big GXs with that, and you can only get the really small basic Pokemon now. A lot of Pokemon that evolve now have 70 HP instead of 60, so it forces you to play those. And Whitney, I feel she's quite good. Once you dump a few of those and then you start using her, you're gonna get pretty good straight draw. And I feel like that's a necessary supporter it's a necessary supporter that we're gonna get. It's good that we're getting that. I think we need to spice things up again with supporters and good options, because with what we have so far, at least for me, I don't feel like there's a lot of replacements. And on that note, I think I should wrap this up. I actually had more to say about such a big set, but this video I think is long enough. I don't want these to be completely long since the TCG meta video, just talking about the meta in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed, now is a good time to do so. My channel is an excellent hub for all things Pokemon TCG. You can check my playlist. You're bound to find something that suits your interests, fits your needs, what have you. Leave a like, share this with your friends. This has been Saber194, and I'll see you guys next time. What up?